Hello everybody, what is going on? Classy Video Games here, and today we are going to be starting a review on Linux Manjaro Edition, version 8.11 Ascella. Now when you first launch this desktop, you'll notice that it comes up with this welcome window, and this, as most of you may know, is an Arch-based distribution, which means if you don't know what Arch is a distribution that is known for being overly complicated, and you build it from the ground up. Basically, they give you like a wallpaper and the terminal, and you build it from there. It's really not that hard. I may tinker with it some more on some videos later down the line, but Manjaro is the simpler, easier solution, I suppose, for those of us who are newer to Linux and newer to using the command line and the terminal for such functions. So anyway, when this starts up, you're gonna see the welcome menu, which shows you how to get to the forums, how to get to the chat room, which is right over here. This thing, the Manjaro, the IRC client. It'll tell you release info, which I suggest you read. It has a lot of really good stuff in here, but this is a very lightweight system that we have here. As you can see up at the top here, we have our menu, just kind of our XFCE menu. I forgot to mention that is what we're doing, which we can in fact move. If we go to panel preferences and unlock this panel, you can drag it around if you want it at the bottom, or if you're like me and you want it at the where's the spot? There's like a special spot. Or if you're like me and you want it at the top, you can move that. And so that's always a good idea. You can of course edit the panel, edit what's on the panel, and that's always good news. So if you're like me and you want the disk space checker, you can just click add and add whatever you want to the panel. You can add any sort of graph, you can add dictionaries, anything. All that stuff is yours to edit, because Arch, like I said, you literally build it from the ground up. So anyway, let's kind of get started here. Within your menu, you'll see I've changed my icon theme to be a little bit older, but it's my personal preference. They used to look almost too simple for my liking, I guess. But yeah, here you'll have your favorites, which it gives you a couple favorites to begin with. It'll give you like your browser and your file manager and stuff like that. It's stuff that like everyone kind of needs. It'll show you recently used. And if you go into all, you'll see it has 7-zip, which I actually am not entirely sure how I got. I don't think it comes pre-installed. It might, but I don't remember it. So yeah, but it has an About XFCE button. If you're new to XFCE, it has your software. It comes with Adobe Flash Player. It has an application finder if you're looking for something but just can't seem to find it. There's an option to literally search through everything on your computer for it, or you can pull it down in handy menus like this to kind of mess with it there. You have Steam installed by default, but I also have SuperTuxKart because I'm working on getting stuff prepared for my crappy Linux gaming series once again, because I have switched to Manjaro full time. For education, it gives you the LibreOffice math thing. It gives you some development tools. It gives you some I'm not entirely sure what these do personally, but it gives you those if you know what they do. For accessories, it gives you like a task manager. It gives you your file manager. You can burn stuff to DVDs and CDs. It gives you notes. It gives you mousepad, which is just a text editor. You can take screenshots of your desktop. You get GIMP and View Noir, I think is what that's called. You get server browsers. You get for internet, you get server browsers, you get Firefox, you get HexChat, you get Pigeon, and then of course Steam, because Steam really, even though it's a game client, really what it's doing is just connecting to servers, and then from there giving you your games. So I guess I could see why they put it in here. And then of course Thunderbird for your mail, for multimedia. It gives you volume mixer. It gives you a, I don't even know how to pronounce that. It gives you a music player, GUVC view. You get in the package manager, which I'll show you in a second. You get pulse audio by default. I installed a simple screen recorder. It gives you VLC, and it gives you that burning tool once again. For the Office suite, it gives you, I think, about 3/4, or about 4 out of 5, maybe a little more. It might give you the full Office suite. I know in previous versions it did not, but I heard that they're updating that, and it looks like they have in fact added some more, so I'm not sure exactly how deep they went into that. And then of course in settings you have all of your settings, so you can, you know what settings do. And for system stuff, it gives you the package manager, it gives you printing, it gives you software updating, it gives you the terminal, all that kind of stuff. Now at the bottom here, it'll have, well, bottom for me, it might be the top for you if you guys put your bar on the bottom, but it has a settings button. So if you want to just get into the settings and launch the big settings menu that has your big thumbnails and buttons here, you can go into it that way. Or where's the close button here? Oh, down there. Okay. It also has a lock screen button. It has a switch user button, and it has a log out button. You can also resize this window, your menu, to however large or small you like. I personally like it roughly there because it gives me enough space to read what I'm looking at, and yeah, whatever. So up on the panel here, I have a couple shortcuts added, but over here we have a minimize all windows button, which if I launch a window here and then I click this, it minimizes it automatically. I don't have to go and minimize each individual window. We have our workspace manager, which is partially set up by Compiz for me, because I did set up Compiz for some of my visual effects. We have my Bluetooth manager because this laptop has Bluetooth. We have Clipman. We have Compiz Fusion, which just lets you get into Compiz if you set that up. It has your Wi-Fi and internet connection little widget, I get. I don't even know what that's called, like a notification thing for your internet. Has your sound. It has your update manager, which now this is really nice because this is a rolling release, just like Arch Linux is, which means that you're going to need to check your update manager about once every 2 weeks. And the rolling release means that there are no LTS releases. It just releases an update package. You update your system. Your entire system is the newest version of that OS. So you can refresh it here. It'll synchronize. And we are still up to date. So that is good. You can also, from here, launch the package manager, which I might go over in another video. But in short, what this is just you can look at what you have installed. You can click on what you have to install, what you have to remove, and then orphans, which are things that you can remove without anything. Means nothing on your computer is currently using it. You can also look at your repositories and add and change those. But say you were looking for SuperTuxCart, you just type in SuperTuxCart, and it will search the entire Arch user repository, or in this term, it's local because I already have it downloaded. But you can look at the details. It'll tell you how, it's like all that sort of stuff. I'll be honest, at first this took me some getting used to because I have to know the names of what I'm looking for as I'm looking for them. But yeah, as you can see, we have our recording. We have my recording going up in the corner. We have my battery bar. We have the time, which mine is currently set to 24-hour time. But yeah, that's your own preference. You can change that if you want. I have a disk space manager, so I can see how much disk space has been used and how much disk space I have left from right here. I can just click it and it'll open my system files and I can get in the hard drive. I also set my trash bin icon up here so I can get into my trash. And then of course it has your log out button, which gives you a set of options to log out, restart, shut down, suspend, hibernate, and then you can save this session, which I believe leaves everything you have running for next time you launch your desktop. So if we open up the home folder here, the file manager, you'll see we have Thunar 1.6.4, which is a very good file manager. It's not as fancy as, say, Nemo or Nautilus, but it gets the job done. So it gives you just a nice little layout here. You can edit what's on your desktop. You can edit your documents. You can edit your downloads. Pretty basic stuff. And then it, of course, one thing that you can use if you want is Manjaro by default gives you a kind of a user guide. It's actually exactly what it is. We have a user guide to Manjaro if you are brand new and have no idea where to start. But yeah, it's pretty basic. It doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. But yeah, so that's always a bonus. God, what else is there really even to talk about? Oh yeah, if you wanted to go like into your root folder, you just right click and then type in your password, and it will open your file manager as a root, which means you can edit anything any way you want because it's your computer. Do what you want. You can edit your system files. You can that's how I got my theme, actually, was I went into root privileges with my theme that I made and inserted it into the theme spot. So that is always a handy utility to have. As far as the settings go, if you launch your settings, you'll see we have kind of our, why is that? Okay. We have kind of our basic settings functionality. So we have our appearance. You can edit your desktop, which means you can change like wallpapers if you wanted, or anything of the sort. You can edit your menus if you wanted the entire menu to be gone. Like if, see here, it shows my it shows that I can edit my applications on a right click, so I can like run program and then search for a specific program if I wanted, or see it open my desktop. You can also edit your icons and choose how big they are. You can make them huge if you want, or not. Like, that's all up to you. You can use a custom font size. You can anything you want. You can choose what programs show up by default on your desktop. I set it up to only have the home folder and the live chat, the IRC client. Go back up. I wonder if this is still recording. I actually have no idea. If it is, well then this is the lock screen. I meant to click the settings. Yeah, okay, that's still recorded. That's good. Sorry, that's never happened before. I've never logged out in the middle of a recording. But yeah, you go back in here and you can, of course, look at your file manager and do whatever you'd like with that. You can apply it to every folder. You can do all that kind of stuff. You can do window manager tweaks if you have, like I have, Compiz going. You have your window manager. Apparently the entire settings is lagging out right now. Just close that entirely, and then we'll launch just the window manager. Or we won't. You know what? That's fine. That's great. I didn't care anyway. what? We'll launch our workspaces where you can edit your number of workspaces. Now it says I have 1, but Compiz has set up 4 for me. So you can edit that if you want. You can edit your display settings. So if you wanted it to be like my other monitor is over, like if I wanted it pretty much inside of it, I could do that. But whatever. You can edit your application shortcuts and keyboard behaviors in here. That's always a bonus. You can also adjust the layout. If you change layouts a lot, you can set like a key to change the layouts, so you don't have to manually go in here and change. If you change languages a lot for business or school, it's probably a really good feature that you're going to want to keep an eye on. You can manage your power. If you're like me and you're on a battery, you can manage that. They have also just a Manjaro settings manager, which I believe goes into more of the entire OS settings. You have a firewall you can configure if you want. You have a session and startup manager where you can choose what runs at startup. You can also choose what is in your session cache. So that's good. You also, for me, I have Compiz, and then you have your general settings editor. So this is just every possible setting you could really adjust in the XFCE desktop, and all of that is here for you in a pretty easily managed little display here. Now moving on, one thing that I've tweaked that you guys may be interested in doing yourselves is, if you see I have 3 Firefox running, say I wanted to switch through these. Now I can press the Shift super key and the up key, and now I can scroll through my currently running windows, select one and tap enter, and here I am. Or as you saw earlier, probably, if I press Control Alt and then an arrow key, it will adjust which workspace I'm currently in. Or I can press Control Alt H to open my home menu, or Control Alt F for another Firefox. And then if I wanted to switch back to my file manager, I can go in here, scroll to my file manager, and put it back on top. Of course, you can always Alt Tab and switch it that way, but then you have to tap Tab a bunch, and I don't know. It's just, I think the other way looks cooler personally. Also, I added, if you open up the home menu, I added a wobble to my window just because I kind of customized it, and you can customize this with the Compiz settings manager. Now, one thing, you guys with bigger, better hard drives than me and better computers than me can also put a giant cube, which means if you rotate your screen, which I believe is oh yeah, I don't have the cube enabled, but you can hold down Control Alt and then down, and it'll move your desktop like a giant cube, which is always kind of cool. But that's if you really want to get into all of the things that you can do with Compiz. I'm just kind of using it for like wobbly windows and just some little stuff. But you can also use XFWM4, which is the standard, what this uses by default. So now, as you can see, I don't have any more screen recorders up, or see, it says it's like down at the bottom, because technically that's in a workspace that is not here anymore. So I need to switch it back to Compiz so I can get back to my recording manager, which is poking up through onto my other monitor, and it's strange. And now it's poking. How? I'm not entirely sure what's happening right now. This is being very strange, but it's not very important. So anyway, that was just kind of a quick little look at Manjaro. I know I haven't really gone through a lot, but I was just trying to give you guys a brief look to see if this was anything you would even consider using. And if you guys have any suggestions for improvements, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys like this, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. It's always very helpful for me. So thank you very much for watching my Linux Manjaro review. And hopefully I will see a lot of you on HexChat soon, or on Spadry's Cup of Linux forum. I know he hosts gaming nights and things like that. So maybe if you're like me and you're a Linux gamer, perhaps check him out. I may also do a video on gaming in Linux, because I've found some things that have helped me figure out how to game on this when a lot of people say that it's impossible. I've done some things that I can play some games, like some of my Steam games. So thank you very much for watching my Manjaro Linux review, and hopefully I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Or not, bye-bye. You know, I guess the recording software didn't cancel. Now bye-bye, for real. Bye-bye.